practice on a pair, and then you bowl your first game, and usually there's some pretty big strings for some good scores in the first game. So that's what we saw here. And now we'll see who can really adjust and figure out the lanes as quick as possible and put some strings together.
Patrick Allen.
Nice shot there. A couple of spares, now a strike. See if he's got it figured out. We'll see if he starts putting a string together. That'll be good.
You got to figure there's going to be a lot of big numbers, so it'll be interesting to see how it evolves. What do you think is going to happen in terms of the evolution of this pattern as it breaks down?
Yeah, it should stay pretty good for probably a couple of games. So I would say the end of the second game or in the first few frames of the third game, we might see some people switching away from urethane, moving in very slightly, and firing the ball. Speed is going to be key to stay outside and stay in that part of the pattern that gives you the most area, most room for error. This should be interesting as we move on. The short is always tougher for somebody like Tommy Jones or Leanne Barrett, who just have notably more revs than the average player. They need to try to tone that down and stay behind it and get it up the lane, and not go left to right too much. So that'll be interesting to see how that goes. Ken started with a couple, and then here he's put it in the pocket, left a 10 pin. That's the other part of the short pattern, is just making sure you have the right carry, the right angle to consistently carry. So far we've got Janowitz with a spare and a three-bagger. Steve Smith had a great first game, 256 I think it was, and struggling with a couple of splits already, so he needs to get off the nose.
Yeah, you don't get a whole lot of chance to recover scoring pace like this. That's one thing that fall off your mark. You better get back quick.
Yep, exactly. That's usually when we see the splits, is right off the bat when switch lanes and you get a topography issue or something. And unfortunately, you got a couple of those, and you got to figure it out faster than that. I don't know if he threw a bad shot or if he thought he figured it out and it just wasn't it. I don't know.
If you're just joining us, we're in game number 2 here of the men's singles PABCON championships. Patrick Allen for Team USA gets the messenger to take it out the 7 pin.
It's been a while since I've seen PA throw it that slow. That's almost slow hooking it for him, I think. He's changed, I don't know. I was just watching him earlier. He's changed his approach. He used to almost be a human rain delay out there. He'd be checking the lineup of his arm and the ball and the target, back and forth, and look again and double check, and then maybe start to walk. And
he was a little bit more deliberate.
Yeah, he's jumping up there and going, and that had to be a change for him. He had to work at that, I'm sure.
Yeah, we'll have to watch that as he goes up, because you're right. He used to be, these competitions, one of the slower players once he gets on the approach. But see how his routine is a little bit different than he would.
Yeah, he'd get up there and he'd set the ball, and he'd have to get it all lined up with the boards going straight ahead, and then check the ball, check his forearm and his elbow, and then look at the mark, and then check it all again. So let's see how this goes. He's starting pretty far back too. Gets his hand in the ball. He's already walking. He's going.
Yeah, that's just very, very different from what we've seen from him in the past.
Totally different. He's had to spend a lot of time working on that. I think he started working on that in camp actually, because that's what a few of the coaches were talking about. So
That's an unusual kind of change for a player to make at this point in his career, because if he's going to make that change, he's not doing that for this event. He's doing that because that's going to be the change.
Yep.
And that's, I don't know, do you know any more about the background of that, or is that something just to kind of talk to the coaching staff and Patrick about?
Yeah, that'd be good to touch base with them, because I was truly unaware of it until I watched him throw a few balls, and the first time I saw it, I'm like, no, I just missed that. Somebody else was in the way, and he must have been up on the approach longer than that. And then I saw it a couple more times, and like, that is a distinct change, and it's almost one end of the spectrum to the other. It's very anal retentive to now very nonchalant, just get up there and go. And it's got to be really hard mentally for him to do, but he's committed to it, obviously, and so far so good.
Yeah, it's a pretty interesting change. Well,
yeah, sometimes the best changes are, you're in a slump, or you're in a funk, or you're not happy with certain aspects of your game, and change your approach, and it makes you refocus on what you're doing, back to the basics. And it's a lot harder to change your steps. Anybody that's gone from 4 to 5 or 5 to 4, or just tried to really change a timing issues can be really tough to work on.
Well, I know that he's had a few kind of nagging injuries as well, and so maybe some of the adjustments might have something to do with looking to make it a little bit less strain on.
Yep, I think so.
Yeah, it's thrown me off, I'll tell you, just from switching cameras on the live streaming. There's certain players, you learn the pace of players on the approach. Shannon Bluchowski, as an example, is very, very fast on the approach. Carolyn Doran Ballard is slower, so I'll sort of know to keep an eye out for how much time I've got to switch it over. And in the past, Patrick Allen has been when he's on the approach that I got plenty of time to switch the cameras over, and he's been going before I even know what's happened now. It's really different.
Yeah, like I said, it used to be like a human ring delay out there, and now he's looking pretty quick. We got Janowitz down on 59. He's carried another one. He's got, he might have a 290 going, I believe. And Steve Smith still struggling on that pair. It's like 2 more splits in the last couple of frames, so last 3 frames. We can get that ironed out.
We certainly appreciate everybody who's with us on Roll TV. I'm Jason Overstreet, along with Neil Strummel, here live from Sunset Station, suburban Las Vegas. We're glad to have you along to show you some of the best bowlers in international competition. PABCON Championships features countries from what's referred to as the American Zone. It's a qualifying event for the World Championships, which will be held here next year, and is a very prestigious event for national teams.
It's been well attended compared to some of the other events we've had within PABCON. We've brought out a few teams that we normally don't see that often, and they brought full teams of 6 and 6 men and 6 women. So they're taking it very seriously. They want to qualify for the combined championships next year. Only 8 teams out of this group are going to qualify, in addition to Team USA, who, being the host, gets an automatic bid into the process. Asia Zone, I believe, gets 12, and European Zone 15, because their zones are bigger than ours. They have more countries, more federations in their zones, so it's all weighted from that standpoint. So we get 9, Asian, European get something like 12 and 15 to get the full 36. It was a great experience.